Welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, where we bring you conversations with the top business minds on Long Island and around the nation every week. Featuring expert consultants and small business owners who have found success but are also willing to share their top tips, failures, and give gritty, matter-of-fact advice based on their firsthand experience. Now, let's get down to business on Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hello, and welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, CEO, keeper of the brand marketing and digital agency, and we're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship. Plus, we bring you weekly business advice, tips, tools, and services that help you grow your business.
Now, providing you with empowerment today is Vanessa, Applewhaite-Senior, and Keisha Doyley-Gathers, leaders from Blanc, Long Island. They are amazing volunteers, so really looking forward to hearing from them, Ray.
Yeah, me too. Dinner on Blanc. So that's a very cool, unique experience. So I guess let's hear from our volunteers. Why don't you tell us a little about yourselves and what brought you to Dinner on Blanc?
Hi, I'm Vanessa Applewhaite-Senior. I'm actually a reading specialist in Hempstead. I've been teaching for 30 years. I had the opportunity to attend Dinner on Blanc in 2019. Last year, they had it as a guest. I was anticipating what it would be like and deciding whether to go or not, and I'm glad I made the choice to go because the night was full of elegance, mystery. I like the concept of having an all-white picnic, but where you're excited about what would happen next because basically it's not a typical party where you pay and you know what's going to happen. So all the mystery and intrigue behind it is what made it the reason why I decided to go. And when I went, I just enjoyed every element of it.
Yeah, it's truly something unique. Like you said, there's some mystery involved there. Very exciting stuff. So thank you, Vanessa. And how about you, Keisha?
Good morning. My name is Keisha Doyley-Gathers. I'm a flight attendant. I've been flying for 22 years. And I learned about Dinner en Blanc from a good friend of mine. I've actually been to every Dinner en Blanc that Long Island has had.
Oh, wow. Now, how many is that?
3. This will be the fourth.
This will be the fourth.
This will be the fourth. Mm-hmm. I feel like you're hosted by a fabulous friend who always has amazing parties. And that friend says, you can come to my party that's already perfect and you add your part to it and make it even more amazing. Everyone works together as like a well-oiled machine to get their things sorted out. And it's just so much fun. The intrigue, just the magic of it all is just amazing. It's my favorite event for the summer every year.
And that's awesome to hear. And I'll tell you, volunteers are so important for nonprofits, community organizations, and events as a whole. So I'll ask you both, ladies, why did you decide to volunteer and be a part of the host team?
I decided to volunteer because when I was in attendance at the last Dinner en Blanc, I just kept saying, I want to do this part. I can add to this. Why does that look like? Like, I just felt like I would be an integral part. And I knew that I would want to, help to make the uniqueness of the event next time it was, happening.
How about you, Keisha? You're flying all over the world. You've been to all 3.
Yeah, I'm thinking you've got your choice of events pretty much, right? So what keeps you volunteering?
This is actually my first year volunteering, and I'm volunteering because I want to bring more of my friends and tell more of my friends about the event and get some of them because I've been trying to get everyone to just take part. So them seeing me joining, I think will encourage them to come forward as well.
Oh, absolutely. And what is it so for the neophyte out there who's never been to a Dinner en Blanc, what can they expect? How does this work?
It's a lot of work is what I like to share with everyone. Everyone has to work in tandem. But once everything is said and done and you see everything laid out, it just gives you, the first time I saw the sea of white is what I like to call it. When you turn around and everyone around you is dressed in white, it just took my breath away. So it's definitely worth the work.
It sounds like an orchestrated, like there's an orchestra.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? And so
there's a lot of coordination.
There's a lot of coordination, and it's definitely an orchestra. And there's people behind the scenes that's working as a team, but the volunteers are what's key. And we know that, there's volunteers from as far as, the Hamptons and Montauk to the North Shore and South Shore, the North Fork and the South Fork, and so many towns in between. And so how does it feel when you are at an event and you meet people that you've never would have had the chance to meet before? And I'll tell you, Ray, I spoke to our good friend Karen Tannenbaum the other day. And
she loves this event.
She loves Dinion Blanc. But what she informed me is that she's been to all, like Keisha, and she said, oh my gosh, my husband can't attend. I'm calling the folks that I met in 2017. We go every year and we sit together.
There you
And
go.
and they don't live in the same town. She's in Suffolk County. These folks are from Nassau County, and they're making new friendships and bringing people together. And I think that's what we need post-pandemic.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
And it's a great event to bring your significant other to, but it's also, look, if they can't make it, it's a great girls' night out. It's a great boys' night out.
Yeah.
You really can't go wrong either way. Now, what type of food is there at the event? Because for me, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely French cuisine.
Ooh,
right?
very
But people like to do several different things. So I want to hear from Keisha, like what she's had on her table throughout the years.
Let's see. So our first year with us trying to figure out how to keep our food warm, we brought lobster rolls. We had a nice fresh salad. We did like a mix of different colors of carrots. That was our first year, along with, I think it was couscous that we had made. The second year, we decided we were trying to figure out a way to keep our food warm. And we got these little things that we were able to plug into our car to keep stuff warm. And we had, I think it was jerk chicken and a bunch of other things. Last year, 2019, we had food from the venue, and it was amazing. That was it. We just, try to keep it fresh every year.
Yeah, and so again, another friend of the station, Elegant Affairs, was the catering and the chef for 2019. And, we took a book out of, 90.3 WHPC. The station was on the list for the best of Long Island. So we decided to take a look at the list of chefs from the best of Long Island. And so we have a few that's going to be a part of this year. So it's all about French cuisine and the food. But there's a lot going on, trying to keep your food warm, what's room temperature. And it's okay. It's a picnic. But people want it elegant. People, they think it's Crest Hollow, and you go to all the catering venues, right?
Yeah. High expectations. But it's all about what's yummy. It's all about the food. Yeah.
And the company.
Food and friendship.
Yes.
Yeah, well, food and friendship is certainly enough for me, but I understand there's some other things that also go on at Dinner on Blanc. Can you talk about, what's your favorite part? Is there a significant event or a significant part of the evening that you really particularly love?
I can say that. I really like the production, the lighting, the entertainment, the soundstage, the dance floor.
Yes.
I don't want to give away too much, but visual entertainment, like human entertainment is there. And it was delightful. And meeting people and seeing people that I knew and was able, to dance with them. And people really just show out. And there's people who really can dance, like seeing some men that really got into it. And I'm like, okay, they may not be from around here because people come from everywhere, but they're definitely engaged and involved in every element of that production, as a guest, as opposed, not even as the entertainer itself, but as a guest. Everyone's intertwined with enjoying just that exclusivity of the night, because it's not like a regular party when it comes to that. It's almost like you're being involved in a concert, stage show, but also a club, but outdoors.
Interesting. And it's so funny because Vera Moore from Vera Moore Cosmetics, a friend of the station as well, she's dressed up last time as Marie Antoinette.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Oh,
we were in
so cool.
shock and awe. She always ups it every time we have the event. You never know what Vera's going to do. So I wonder what's going to happen this year.
Right.
Are there pictures from past events that people could see?
Oh, absolutely. On Facebook, on Instagram, on the website, LongIslandDinionBlanc.com. and it's just amazing. But I know Vanessa said she didn't want to give some things away, but we can talk about what's happened in the past.
Okay.
Long Island is known for its mansions, and so when we look at our good friends from Remember When on Long Island, they showcase all the landmarks across Long Island. We're known for mansions and beaches and yachts and and amazing towns and Main Street.
Yeah.
So you never know where Dinion Blanc's going to pop up, but it's all the main streets coming together and communities of people coming together, not for a specific cause, but just for a night of friendship. But we do have times that we identify, local organizations to work with. So the year 2018, they were at Nassau Coliseum, and they gave back to Uniondale High School in their performing arts group.
I love that.
Yeah, there's ballerinas.
Oh, yes, that was that first year.
Yeah.
They were
wow.
amazing. Women on stilts.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a gentleman as you were ushered in for 2019 standing in all white, hanging on to the horse's bit.
There was a horse.
Full white horse.
Wow.
Beautiful. Yeah. Really nice.
That's where I was surprised. I didn't expect that. And I loved it. I was just like, oh, I'm glad I came.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, Jovia Financial Credit Union, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, and our guests today are Vanessa Applewhaite-Senior and Keisha Doyle Gathers. But they're leader volunteers from Dinner on Blanc, Long Island. So tell us a little bit about, well, actually, we heard from Vanessa but we didn't hear from Keisha. So Keisha, can you tell us about, a specific part of the night or a specific event, something that happens? I've heard different things about napkin waves, sparkler moments. We talked about the horses already. I mean, it sounds like this is just incredible.
A control circus, right?
Yeah.
The first thing is everyone's faces as you're entering the venue. Since it's a surprise, you don't know where you'll be going until you get there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have the napkin wave once it's time for us to start eating, and the sparkler moment when, everyone has to remember to carry their matches to light their sparklers. And then eating and, mingling and meeting new people. And, it's just an amazing evening. It really is. It's magical, truly.
Ray hasn't attended yet, but one day.
This is my inaugural.
Ray
That is blasphemous.
See, now you see why I'm asking all these questions.
Yeah, he hasn't attended. Because Ray's a man of the town. He's out. He's always booked and busy. Oh. Okay, but he's definitely a supporter, and it's about friendship. So
Every year I see what Donyshia shows me, and I go, how can I have missed this?
You've had 3 years.
Somebody
Yes.
has to rein him in.
we got to rein him in.
Yes.
And I think some people are scared because you have to bring your tables and your
Yes.
chairs and your food,
Yes.
and they go, oh my gosh, this is just too much, right?
Yeah.
It's
I'm a little
intimidating.
intimidated. Yeah. I
But
agree.
everyone is doing the same thing. So you're not the only person that has your own table and your own chair. Everyone is. So it looks, it's fine. It's very inclusive.
Absolutely. And some people, we decided that in 2019, we're so tired of hearing that people, don't want to bring their tables and chairs.
Right.
So now we have
Yes.
options
Yes.
that you can just pick up everything on site.
Sorry.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
And so why go through the hassle of bringing your chairs? We know for the people who already have their stuff, they can totally bring it. We know, shout out to John from Freeport. But those people who want to just, take it easy.
Yeah.
Just show up looking, dapper
Right.
or beautiful in their white. They can pick up on site.
One of the things I find very inviting about the event is that you don't know the location. I find that
Yes.
very kind of cool.
Yes.
I know that
Yes.
throws off some planners in the world there. But so how do you find out where you're going? Does somebody call you and say, all right, you're arriving at blah, blah, blah? How does this work, this
So
part?
you know where your rendezvous spot is. So everyone meets at a particular place. And then we all make the trek together. Whether you take the bus or you take the train, that then takes you to the spot where you would be walking in with everyone else, or you park your car and you walk into the venue. And that's kind of one of the cool things too, like listening to everyone saying, I think it's here, oh, I knew it was going to be there. And really, usually once you get there, they still don't know, because you get what I mean? Like everyone starts to think, all right, well, this is where it's supposed to be. Maybe it's around. And then you get there and it's like, oh no, it's someplace else. So it's amazing.
And just to give people an idea of the scope of things, because this part I know, but what are some of the past places that the Dinner en Blanc has been held at?
Yeah, so we mentioned, I know, Nassau Coliseum, NYIT D. Swarovski Mansion, which is one of the Gold Coast mansions, and then also the Nassau Museum of Art.
Yes.
And so the Frick Mansion. So we've been mansion and coliseums, and so it's time for, to shake it up, Long Island. And Long Islanders they are really judgments. They're judgy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? They're judgy. They're like, oh my gosh, where's it going to be? But it should be here, like Vanessa mentioned. But, sometimes I'm scared, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are so many beautiful places on Long Island that this could be held at. So that's also part of the mystique, I think, is that, it really could be anywhere. There are so many mansions. There's so many large spaces. But that's got to be a lot of coordination. So as far as the volunteers are concerned.
Yeah. And so, ladies, how many guests do you kind of host and on your tables?
50.
50.
That's
right?
a lot of people.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Actually, I have 50 on my list, but that'll be 100, right? If they each bring somebody.
Go, Vanessa.
We'll see. I'm meeting people every day and spreading the word. In fact, last night, I do events on the side, so we co-hosted something on Nautical Mile, and one of the MCs for the event invited people in, and I just they started talking to me, I started talking to them, and Lady Liz said, was she Bellport? Well, she was out east, but she was on Nassau County, but she said, I'm totally interested, I want to bring this, I want to bring that person. So, I'm just spreading the word that way, because a lot of people have not heard of it yet.
Yeah.
And they're so curious about it, because there are people who really like to party, so they're always looking for the next best thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the pictures I've seen are all social media and that sort of thing. Certainly word of mouth is something that helps. But it's also interesting, this event, I mean, obviously this is Long Island's event, but it's not specific to Long Island.
No.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you've heard about some of the worldwide events that go on with Dinner en Blanc?
Yeah, so it started in Paris over 30 years ago. The founder of Dinner en Blanc, he decided to return to Paris after a couple of years away. He wanted to see his friends. So it's like, hey, Ray, meet me under the Eiffel Tower. And let's just wear white because it's a touristy place, and so we can identify ourselves. So it's en blanc because that's the attire that you wear. And being in a tourist city, it's easy to spot your friends if they're all wearing the same color. And it grew from there. So it's in Paris, then it went to Canada and Montreal. It sounds like Vanessa, like she's an airline stewardess, and she is like all over the place. So it's in New York City, had 5,000 people. Philadelphia has 10,000 people.
Wow.
And in Long Island, we started with 1,200, and then went from 1,200 to 1,700 to 2,000 with over 5,000 to 50,000 people on the list. So it's about your friends and friends of friends, right? So not really, you get some new friends by strangers, but also, Vanessa's network may not be Keisha's network. But how do you just bring everyone together?
Right.
Well, and that's obviously also one of the attractions, especially coming out of the pandemic. It's an event that brings us together, and we've all been aching for that that connection. For the scope of people that are there certain ages that this really applies to? Who's kind of the target person that you want to make sure comes to Dinner en Blanc?
Yeah, foodies, right? Wine,
Dancers.
champagne, kind of dancers,
Party goers.
people who love to mix and mingle, eat good
Yeah.
cuisine,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all about the foodie.
Yes.
And young and old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say young as 18 and old. You know, where it's like Disney, 2 to 82. In this case, it's 18 to
18
plus.
to 82.
That's actually a valid question. I had that question actually when someone asked me if they wanted to bring, when their children.
Yeah,
like,
no children, no dogs.
No.
Yeah.
You know, people like to have white poodles and no.
It's time to get the babysitter for this one.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Vanessa Applewhaite-Senior and Keisha Doyley-Gaithers, volunteer leaders from Blanc, Long Island. My name is Donyshia Boston-Hill, along with Ray Schwetz on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Now, what would you say is kind of the vibe of the event? Because that's something that I certainly thrive on, is that when you arrive, obviously there's mystery in the beginning, but then once you get there, what's the vibe of the event?
It's definitely elegant. It's like what they call chic. So now you're feeling like you're involved in something really special, where you want to have a little swag, you want to add your own personal style to it. Everyone's just in all white mode, so it's absolutely beautiful.
It is.
So it creates this mood of, now I have my own flair. You're going to bring your own style and flair mentally, and then you just relax, but you're excited. And you just don't know what's happening next.
And there's
but
different
definitely
pockets.
the vibe is based on mood, based on the energy of how the aesthetics were presented through yourself and through the production. So once you get there, you'll pick it up. But then you're like, oh, shoot, maybe I should have. Because people get into it. And we didn't mention the tableware, because all I'm thinking is, how does that table going to look? I told everybody. We are gonna,
Tablescapes.
I wanted it. Well, I don't even say what I want to do, but because of the weather.
It's a competition.
Yes.
I'm getting a sense of that.
Yes.
And that was one of the next things I wanted to ask you, is that I'm thinking this could be very competitive, because you're out there strutting your stuff. So, and you're decorating your own.
Yes.
So,
It's how we're going to have this table. People went all out to create decor for the table.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful.
We start planning our table right after. So at the current dinner in Blanc, we start planning for next year.
Oh, wow.
This year, these are the colors we use. So next year, these are the accents that we'll use. You can only accent with white, silver, or gold. Your flatware, as well as, maybe the rim of your plates. But we start to decide, okay, so are we going to do it different this year? Are we going to go over the top or make it more simple? And you have different pockets. So like you can either be at the table, just kind of relaxing, but you could be on the dance floor dancing, or just walking around and meeting different people, or just taking in the sights. Like they always get it right with the venue and just, the food. And it's just, I keep saying it, but it's just amazing.
And it is a vibe. Like it's its own vibe. So you can't really compare it to anything else.
No.
Now, do you pull from other people, like when you see them dressed as Marie Antoinette or, do you pull ideas from other people or from their tables?
I tell my guests that you can go as over the top with your attire as you would like. And actually, the more over the top you take it is the more special you make it. And the same with your table. Don't feel it has to be bland. Like, bring flowers, put an Eiffel Tower in the middle of your table, but
there was a lot of lights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and lighting is key, right?
Yes.
Bringing the
Key.
lights
Yes.
of Paris here to
Yes.
Long Island.
Yes.
I love that. So it's interesting. What comes to mind, I was at an event where I saw a young woman who had a gown that was netted with material where it could hold shot glasses.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It was both elegant and also very functional.
Yeah, we've seen that. I think one year we saw in another city they had champagne
Glasses, yes.
Champagne glasses. So yeah, it's a wine and champagne event. That's why it's 21 and over to drink, 18 to party. But it's a bringing community together and friends and but it's also about giving back to Long Island, identifying other organizations that they can support, nonprofits, because we are enjoying and discovering Long Island.
Yeah, and I think that is fantastic. So and that charitable component. So, I mean, that's also wonderful because not only is it celebrating life, it's celebrating friendship, it's celebrating the gifts that God's given us in terms of the food and the music that we enjoy.
Absolutely.
But there's also a component of giving back to one another and to a charity. So
And happiness.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And so, it sounds like you're very excited for this year.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So are you busy working behind the scenes and registration will be opening
Yes,
and which means new members are joining every year and they invite their friends. But it's about, coming together. So, but it sounds like a lot of anxiety when you don't know where you're going.
For people, there are people who have to have a schedule, have to have a location. Okay. I have a friend who has a successful event supplies. She has an event business where they provide. That sucks. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like, you don't know. That's right. That sucks. How do you not know where it is? Because she's a businesswoman, so she has to know
people must
at
know
all
them,
times
know where they're going.
where she is, because she provides, say, supplies for a venue. So in her head, she's in business mode. I find a lot of like corporate people, they're always in business mode. Even my husband, I'll get, the way they speak to you. So she's constantly, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. The concept of the mystery is what makes the event.
Yes.
It's kind of like let your hair down and just,
Go with the
relax.
flow.
Yeah.
So I literally just sent her, the website, like for her to read up on it. I can't explain it.
to me, that's one of the challenges, and one of the challenges that makes it kind of fun. It's a puzzle. You put it together. How are you going to bring something that is both elegant and yet portable and all that?
Right.
So, the thought that goes into that. And, looking at the website to see and get an idea for how that works. Now, for folks who are, let's say, a little bit more solitary, if they want to come solo, is that something that they can do?
No, you
No?
have to bring a friend, right?
You have to bring a friend.
to bring
Okay.
a guest.
Or they can be paired up.
Yes.
Well, so there we go.
Yes.
So that's
so
an
there's
opportunity
an
as
option
well.
for that. There's you want to come alone, but then we'll pair you up with someone.
Yeah, Vanessa sounds like she's taking on that.
All right.
So that would be
There we go.
Vanessa. That would be Vanessa's role.
Well, I would think there's a demand for that. There's a lot of folks who are looking for social engagements, and maybe they're a bit solitary, so maybe they can bring one friend. But, they're not part of a larger party. So,
But what I like about Le Dîner en Blanc is everything is done with the decision made with two. That's what I figured out.
Yeah.
But that comes with the phase. It comes later once you see what's involved. It's not like, okay, we're paying a ticket, we're going.
yeah,
There's decision making is based on two.
there's coordination involved there.
Absolutely.
I get that. All right, so where can we find information about Dinner en Blanc?
You may visit longisland.dinnerenblanc.com or Dinner en Blanc Long Island on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. It's out there. Just Google it.
Yep. Excellent. Well, thank you both. We really appreciate you kind of giving us a unique perspective, the insider's
having
perspective on Dinner en Blanc. We're very excited about it and can't wait to see you there. So, again, thank you to our guests, Vanessa Applewhaite-Senior and Keisha Doyley Gathers,
Thank you for
the leader
having us.
volunteers. We're very happy to have you and excited to see everybody in all white at the event.
So am I.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you for having us.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you for your service and volunteering. I'd like to leave you with DB's philosophy. It's friends we meet along the way that helps with the journey.
I want to thank you for being with us. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, your co-host and producers. This is visit nccradio.org for more information. We're available on Odyssey, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of National Community College 90.3 WHPC.